Hello sailors, this is the Dodgy Kebab, and as the title suggests, today I'm reviewing the Cataclysm World of Warcraft private server, Molten. More specifically, the Frostwolf ×1 experience rate realm. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, Dodgy Kebab, covering the biggest server there is right now? Ah! So I realised that I should try to be as thorough as I can when putting this video together. So that means I levelled up my blacksmithing and smelting, as well as doing my secondary professions like cooking and first aid. Anyway, like I said, this is Frostwolf, which is the Cataclysm ×1 experience rate realm. I think things like 10 and 20 times realms ruin the game's balance. A classic example of this is when you're trying to do an RDF and everyone has flown up in 10 minutes to level 40, but everyone's still wearing gear from level 1. I started recording the footage for this video once I got to about level 35. Don't worry, we didn't miss much, just the standard start for a human warrior. It all went quite well. I don't really remember anything going badly wrong, the odd quest not working, but I was expecting a good game of Warcraft from Molten. I really liked it rather than Lich King realm, so I had high hopes for this realm too. But like I said, somewhere between level 30 and 40 and I was getting on my quests, which seemed to be the fastest way to level up. On the Wrath of the Lich King realm, I managed to do every dungeon in the game, but here for some reason, I found that people didn't want to take part in RDF, and the icon kind of looked wrong when I was queuing up to do one. I soon found that you really have to get a group together yourself if you want to do a low level dungeon, and that can take some time. Do you want to know roughly how long? I kept getting mauled on every time I queued, which got quite boring quite quick. So when I tried to pick something else, it said I was locked out of all the other dungeons. But no one tells me no, and I got a group of mugs together and told them we were actually going to walk to Solemnase. But when we tried to go in, the game, it went for a...
Computer says no.
So we walked to Stratholme, tried to go inside, and
Computer says no.
turns out that Molten is the only dungeon open to use, and the RDF tool decided that it wasn't even going to let us go there. Molten ended up being the only dungeon I got to do until I was over level 80. All I could do was grind my way via quests, and it was around level 40 that the game started to really fall apart. If it wasn't mobs that couldn't be bothered to even animate themselves, it was getting killed and not being able to resurrect. Or the Stormwind horse breeder refusing to sell me a horse. Look, I've exalted myself with Stormwind, but look at this bitch, look what she goes for. Sorry, you need to be exalted. What the fuck is this? Despite that slut blowing me off, I found someone in the logging camp that was happy to sell me a horse. I returned back to town on my new horse only to find a large group of people had decided to show off. Pricks. I rode back to where I was levelling only to find that the quest line I had been following was cut short because the quest failed to work. This soon turned from a running theme to a serious problem. I went to the Scarlet Crusader area to find a new line of quests, and I ran into a whole new problem. But I need a break because thinking about this glitch is just bugging me now.
Commercial break.
Sega Mega Drive. Got one? Now you can get Mega CD. Click, take a trip. Whoa! It comes with 7 games and even plays your music 3D.
Okay, Megan, let's get interactive.
Welcome back to Name That Glitch. Dodgy Kebab is currently grinding a Try's hand right now. Which glitch is causing him the biggest problem? Is it A, spellcaster mobs dealing too much damage? Is it B, being forced to grind here as all the other quest lines are dead? Or is it C, being forced down the only working quest line because the RDF is broken? Yes, Flair. Is it all 3? You're right! Anyway, a server restart was about to happen, so everyone needed to quickly pass on their collective knowledge to each other for the good of the server. After a few more levels of tearing my hair out, I moved on to the Swamp of Sorrows, where actually the questing all worked fine, and I managed to fly up the remaining levels that I needed to get before I could access the Burning Crusade content. So, I arrived in the Outland with a good feeling. Now that all the rebooted vanilla content was over, and I thought, yes, I'll be able to do RDF again, this time with the Burning Crusade content to help break up the grinding. RDF dungeons are still locked. Why the fucking hell is this even happening? Why does the Burning Crusade content not work? Why does it work on the Wrath of the Lich King server but not here? It's the same content. This is just fucked. So at this point I totally lost my shit, and I did an instant 85 on my character because I was a gnat's cock away from quitting and ending this review right there. So when you are at level 85, RDF is open again, and it does work. Now I did a few dungeons, and it's easier to get an RDF started at this level because of Molten's trump card, the population. The population size is absolutely huge. No other server right now can come close to the amount of players here, and that is a selling point of this server that should not be underestimated. The quests, however, are just as bugged here as they are in the rest of the game. Here you'll see that Thrall gives you a quest that involves getting on a mount, but the mount won't work. So you know what? Guess what? You're stuck. You can't even jump off the edge and suicide your way out. There's no walk back to town. You just have to hope your Hearthstone is ready and fully charged to get you out of there, otherwise you're stuck. In case you were wondering what I thought about the PvP here on Frostwolf, well, I think that PvP in general is shit, and I can't be bothered with it. Even Russell Brand agrees with me.
I'm inclined to agree with you, Dodgy Kebab.
It's time to wrap up this review. I was impressed with the Molten Wrath of the Lich King realm, but this Cata realm is nothing like it. And the main problem here is the flow of the game. You'll be questing away, and then suddenly you'll have to go out and find a new questing line in a totally different zone. It really spoils the game and breaks your enjoyment of it. The lack of RDF for all the non-Cata content is a total disaster. if either one of these problems was fixed, the server would be an okay place to play, but like this is a mess. I'm disappointed more than anything, because I thought it would be better than this, considering how big the server is.
Well, that was fucking dreadful.
For more Dodgy Kebab videos, click on one of the annotations on the screen now. Or, if you want, join me on social media where I post behind the scenes footage so you can see progress of the videos as they're being made with screenshots. Also, get access to videos which I don't even post on the Dodgy Kebab, and they're on the sneaky other account.